Hi, I'm Thane White. This is my wife Charlotte, and we just wanted to take a little time to share about our journey that we've been on for a few years now. And today we moved a lot of boxes, and it's really kind of a disorganized mess around here. We've got most of our belongings are either in the garage or in the basement, and we're getting ready to move. But to tell you how we got here, we'll tell you some of the things that's happened in the past several years, and how God's changed our hearts and changed our lives. Um, I like looking back. When I look in my life and I look back, it's so clear. I can see the path I was on, and when I look forward, I don't always know where I'm going for sure, and I have an idea, but we just don't know what tomorrow holds. But when we look backwards, it helps me to learn and helps me to trust God more, because I could see Him working through my life. And one of those milestones that changed me several years ago was at church. I was listening to the sermon, and the pastor was preaching about God and His love, and how much God loves every person, and especially the down and out, and those that don't know Him. And he was explaining that, and he was teaching us about God's character. Part of His character is love, and it's different than our love. We, for the most part, we love everybody that loves us, and if we don't get along with them, then it's fine. No problem. Don't have to love that person, and it's easy. That's the way our nature is. But God's not like that. He loved me when I was His enemy, when I was doing everything I could to rebel against Him, and did things to reach out to me, and to save me. And so the pastor was teaching and preaching about that, and you could tell that he was passionate about it, that he had a love for the lost, and he got emotional about it, and he was grieved for the people that he knew that didn't know God, that didn't know Jesus, didn't have salvation in their lives, that they were going to go to hell, and he could hardly stand it. And I remember sitting there and thinking, I don't have that. I don't have that love for everyone. I don't have that love, the drive to, um, that would compel me to do anything about it. And and I remember going home and thinking about it and praying about it. And over the next several, weeks and months, just confessing it to God. It's like, God, I know you. I read in your word that you love me so much that you sent your son to die for me, and that your spirit is in me, and I should have that same love, but I just didn't feel it, and I didn't have it. And so I prayed for God to help me, to show me that, and teach me how to love like He does. And well, He has. And that's part of the journey that we've been on. And um, there came a point in our lives where we have two daughters, and they got to the ages to where they were asking why, and they were watching us real close, and somewhere along in there, my mother-in-law got cancer, and it got really bad, and she was really hurting, and just could barely get out of bed. An hour, half an hour a day was all she could manage to be awake, and it was a hard time. And I remember my prayers were, God, heal her and keep her here with me, with our family. So we could all be together. And I remember praying that over and over, and then it's just like God, the next Sunday we'll go to church, and the sermon, part of the sermon was talking about the lukewarm Christians. We pray, we spend our time in prayer praying to keep the saints out of heaven, and we don't even pray at all to keep the sinners out of hell. And I was just cut to the quick. It's like, that's exactly what I was doing. I was spending all this time praying to keep this wonderful godly woman out of heaven, and I'd spent no time at all praying for my neighbors or my coworkers or all these people that I know that don't know Jesus. And it was zero. And so that just had a big impact on my life. And so another big impact was our invitation. We were invited to join some others on a short-term mission trip, and that was an exciting time, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. We weren't sure if we were supposed to go, of course, and we didn't really know what we were going to do, and we hadn't ever had that experience before, so it was new for us. And we felt like God wanted us to do it, and we ended up taking our daughters, which at that time they were about 10 and 13 or something around that age. And so we struggled with, did we take them out of the country? Was it safe to take them out of the country? Was it safe for us to go out of the country? And we had about 1 million questions and a bunch of reasons why it really wasn't a good idea for us to do that. But God continued to work on our hearts through circumstances, and we did pray about it, and God did clearly tell us that He wanted us to go. And it was a good thing that we did. Now we can look back on that and see, how God worked.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did He work in our hearts, but He also worked in the hearts of our daughters. They were our, sometimes still, kind of spoiled children, like most middle-class American children. They have most everything that they want, and so they took a trip to a place where people didn't have anything that they wanted, and certainly just struggled to have even food. And so they got to see how people live in extreme poverty, and it was a life-changing experience for us. It was a life-changing experience for them, and I'm grateful now that we did take them. In fact, they ended up going back with us a couple of times since then, and it's given them a heart for the underdog, as we say here sometimes at our house. They both have a lot of compassion for people who don't have all the things that they have, and so they learned a great lesson there. But one thing that God did in my heart as a result of that was He really broke my heart for the people in Tanzania that we met. We went over there thinking we were going to do all these great things and help people, and we did, sort of. But I think the bigger work was probably done in our hearts than it was in anybody there, because God used that as a catalyst to cause us to start asking some questions about ourselves and about God, and about what we were doing with our lives. And of course we had no idea, where that would all take us, but we wanted to know what God had in store for us, and so we continued to seek Him and ask Him what that all meant, and He continued to work, and we're grateful for that now, and we can see how His hand has worked in our lives. And he's in the business of changing people's hearts, and it's not just lost people's hearts that He wants to change. There's also a lot of saved people who need their hearts changed, and we were probably one of them, because He's done a great work in us, and like I said, we're very thankful for that.
Each of these steps that we were talking about, it seems like there's an opportunity. You come to a decision point, and one decision is play it safe. Don't go, don't take a trip, don't change, don't stretch, stay comfortable. That's one of the, and it's interesting, like on that trip that Charlotte was talking about, how many people, the percentage was, 80 or 90% was of the people were telling us, "Oh, you're crazy. Why are you doing this?" And they have their reason. You shouldn't do that. It's not safe, or there's terrorists, or the food, the water, the cost. A to Z. They had their reasons, and looking back, I can see how there's times when God's prompted me to do something, and I took the safe route, or safe decision. And um, after I had prayed about that God would show me His heart for His people, everyone He created, I'm not afraid, and it doesn't seem weird anymore. It just seems normal. And whether I'm here or in my neighborhood or my work or in Tanzania, which is where we're heading, we're leaving in a few weeks, and we're going to be living there for as long as the Lord allows us to. We're going to be working over there with the Tanzanians and sharing God's love with them over there. And it's so hard because there's so many little details, and like I said, moving boxes. My back hurts today, and it's physical things, but we have to push through those, or accomplish those things. And we've had to go to school. We've learned. I got a degree. We've done so many things in these past years to prepare for this, and each step of the way, God's been with us, and it's just because of His love for us that's what motivates us to do these things. So we hope our sharing our story with you is encouraging, and I just would encourage you to take whatever step the Lord's showing you that He wants you to do. And if it seems crazy, that's good. That probably means it's the right step. If it's something that you don't see very many people doing, and most people are telling you, you really probably shouldn't do that, then talk to your pastor and everything. But that's probably what the Lord's asking you to do, because He likes to really stretch people, and
He likes to do impossible things.
Yes, He does.
He likes to present a situation that looks impossible and then say, "Do you trust me?" Are you going to obey me and do this, or are you going to just sit on the couch or do something else, So we just want to encourage you to trust the Lord when He prompts you to do something and it looks crazy, or it sounds impossible, or it doesn't make any sense, because sometimes that's the time that He is testing you to see if He can trust you with maybe something bigger that He might have in store for you in the future. So it doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to fit into your schedule. And we just want to encourage you to trust God in those promptings, and to just be obedient immediately, and do what He asks you to do, and see where He leads you with that. And you won't be disappointed. You might be surprised, but God doesn't disappoint, and He comes through in marvelous ways.
So we hope our story has been encouraging to you, and I just challenge you to pray and ask God to show you His love for you, and to show you His love for others, and help you to see part of Him, and that the enormous part of Him that's love, that is something that we can't even get our arms or our words or our definitions around. So thanks.